pressure on.
Freak, it took them 9 minutes to take those two, but it only took them another 3 minutes to take that one. This is not looking good for Azubu Frost. They definitely have not stalled that aggression that's coming from Invictus Gaming. They've been able to come out way too strong on each one of their ganks. Azubu Frost is keeping them some in it with those inch-by-inch fights. We did see him just take down Swain in mid. Z-Tai got a little aggressive, but they were able to come in with Shen. So they have a lot of possibilities, but we're seeing that all in the late game, and right now they may not get there.
It's going to be risky. Now, they're only down 1,000 gold, so they're holding on more or less. Azubu Frost, you know, they're not defending themselves to the ganks all that well. These ganks are succeeding really on all sides, but at the same time, they're still making ganks of their own. They're still pushing themselves ahead. You can see, again, 5 kills picked up because of the plays being made by Azubu Frost. They're not down really any significant margin of gold, so they want to keep those pushes going. And the saving grace here for Frost is that they have a great late game lineup. Again, Jax and Vladimir, if they can get rolling, and they're starting to, they're finally picking themselves up in minions. Actually, Rapid Star beating his lane opponent in minions. Jax from Shy pretty close by as well, so they will continue to catch up throughout this game. And when we hit like the 35-minute mark, you're going to see just the general champion power actually shift over. I think actually the impetus is really on Invictus to make the plays right now and keep that pressure on.
So we actually have Wound going up and grabbing the blue buff. They don't really need it in mid so much. They don't really need it up top. And they're going to give it to Wound. He's down 2 kills, but he's up in CS. So they're really trying to gain the advantage back in this bottom lane. Still has perfect turrets on it.
And that's going to be really the next point of contention, I feel. With the 2 top turrets down, the first middle turret down, Invictus is going to look for their next big advantage, I think, at this bottom lane. I would expect to see some ganks coming through in the near future. Now, it's difficult to gank an Ezreal and an Alistar. There's a lot of crowd control and mobility still available, but they've still got a little bit of time with Wound's flash still down. Professional teams will time enemy summoner spells. And so, and it's really convenient, too, because Kid flashed at about the same time. Kid can easily time Wound's escape ability to say, okay, look, Flash is still down, Nocturne show up, let's make a 4-on-2, let's get some kills. I expect to see that if they want to go for this next turret.
And it's really what Invictus Gaming has been doing. They're playing inside the mind of Azubu Frost. The homework has really paid off for them, and these lanes are, even though not so much aggressive for Xiao Zhao and Kid bottom, they've been playing it wonderfully against the Alistar Ezreal that just came down there. We saw picking up a kill, Wound, or rather Kid for himself onto Ezreal. Wound trying to pressure. He has that blue buff. He should just be throwing out his spells.
And he is. He's poking as hard as he possibly can and getting a lot of damage out of it. This mid lane, once again, you can see that blue buff is so nice, especially for Z-Tai, who can spend his mana basically on health. That Raven form, his ultimate, it just makes, it sends these Ravens out, they deal a bunch of damage, and they return life back to him. And so it is so hard to shove him out of lane, he will keep being a force.
There's the Zenith Blade, very nice headbutt, but they're coming in still, the pulverized wait, but Illusion is just on the outside, and the 3v1 comes in strong. Mad Life forced to walk out of this one.
That is, again, them timing that flash. It actually is coming up in the next 10 seconds. The Rapid Star taking the punishment in mid.
Z-Tai forced to go back on this one. Cloud Templar is everywhere. And this shows you, if they can span these fights out long enough and continue to have Cloud Templar in it, they're really able to stop a lot. However, this time they get Dragon. Last time they were top taking turrets. This time they're going to go ahead and grab the objective and have the timing on that as well.
Really, really good for Invictus. This is proper gameplay as well. Whenever you remove an enemy champion from the map, you want to do something for your team afterward. Getting a kill and picking up 300 gold and then going and farming, it doesn't help you all that much. Picking up a kill and killing 2 turrets, picking up a kill and taking away Dragon, that is a big boost in resources. They're now up 2,400 gold because they're not just getting a kill, they're getting a turret and an objective afterward. You're going to keep seeing these teams throughout this tournament convert kills into something else over and over and over again. That's the proper way to play League at a top level.
So, Freak, we have actually some builds coming out here. Oh, down bottom, some aggression on Illusion. He catches himself out. Shy is also down there as the top lane is really nothing to be had, and Woong finds himself a kill.
That was excellent. They actually snuck through the brush there and waited and kind of baited out Illusion to show up. So, Woong is chilling, not a big deal, but everyone else waiting in the brush and diving out of nowhere, that's really big.
No pressure on the bottom third as we see them taking top as well. Cloud Templar forced to flash. And that's going to be noted by the team. We just said they're keeping control of those summoner spells. It's down to that point where they have to know what's going to happen in these team fights.
And that just really sets them up still for this mid-game. I don't think we're quite into full-on team fights just yet. I don't expect a lot of crazy pushes. It's not going to be a Baron attempt, but a lot of pressure at the top lane. Cloud Templar really getting shut down. PDD taking it down in a one-on-one. burned his ultimate earlier to just get rid of the flash, and then said, great, I've got cooldowns, let's do this, picking that kill up.
Very nice job, and just knowing mechanics of that champion, able to close the gap between Shen if he doesn't have enough energy, and just continue to beat down on him with that long range as he needs it, that Q. 6-8 at 18 minutes, Freak. 2,000 gold in the lead right after that Dragon in control of these turrets. Still holding off a shutout on turrets against the Azubu Frost. Invictus Gaming has really came into this one strong. They haven't worried about the buffs in Azubu Frost jungle too much, but they're really controlling them once they're in the lane.
Exactly. They are absolutely making a lot of great moves. Really, both these teams are. They've both kept the pressure on 6-8 at 18 minutes. They're constantly showing up for kills. Now, sometimes they're getting away with the skin of their teeth and they're surviving just at the last second, but these guys are obviously looking for lane fights over and over. They are trying to get into battles. They're trying to bully their opponents out of lane, picking that kill up. You know, it's nice to farm minions, but you can farm champions. They're worth about 10 times as much, so why not do that instead?
So we do see the Wriggles Lantern onto Nocturne, a little objective focused as well as mass control for him. That armor really helps just his build in general, especially against this team. You have the Shen, Jax, Alistar, and Ezreal. You're really only looking for Vladimir with that AP damage. Jax a bit hybrid, but not going to factor into that huge fight too much. You see the bottom turret going down. Invictus Gaming just globally roaming right now.
That's really strange. You don't see this very often. A 5-man just like runs to a turret to pick up that kill, because here's the counterattack from Azubu Frost. It's a 2-on-0. This turret's taken a lot of damage, but looks like they're not going to keep the pressure on. They're worried about getting counter-ganked here. They're going to actually just trade a turret for nothing. Really, really nice move by Invictus, reading their opponents, knowing there was no push available, at least not enough push available at the top, and they're still going as 5. They're going to look for another objective for us.
You know, Freak, they really considered how much damage was in that lane. You have Vladimir and Shen, not exactly the greatest tower pushers in the world. Somebody throwing off a ghost there as they were getting away. Yep.
Again, this roaming squad actually working quite well, and I might have called it wrong. They're milling around here Baron. It seems really risky. I don't think they have quite the Baron damage overall. Okay, yeah, now you're seeing Leona recall back. They're going to be safe, but it's a nice little move, you know, out of nowhere. And Invictus Gaming is like, okay, normally people sit in lanes, they'll force a turret, they'll force an objective or something. They're just like, guys, let's group up in like 20 to 1. They actually showed up at the bottom turret, pushed that bottom lane away, picked up the kill there, and then just showed up as a team in mid lane, forced everyone else, Cloud Templar, Rapid Star, to run away. They burned Rapid Star's Ghost, they looked for Golem buff, and they're back to the lane. So, you know, they spent 2 minutes rolling around the map, they picked up some advantages for it. Pretty good move.
Kid farming bottom, still the 80 carries quite close, 171 to 167, but still those 2 kills for Kid. He is really helping himself out here, and Azubu Frost continues to roam. It looks like Mad Life is just hip and hip right now with Boom. He is not leaving him, and they are quite an aggressive group together, so they will go in onto some kills. Xiao Xiao trying to get a little bit of gold for himself here. Support's jungling.
Yeah, well, support getting some gold. It's really what these teams are doing, you know, the last year or so, is they've been really sharing the jungle as a team objective. You call one of the members on your team a jungler. His primary profession is sitting in the jungle, killing off minions and ganking for the side. But setting up more gold for your team is a really, really good move as well. Azubu Frost finding a kill here on PDD, possibly.
PDD knocked up. The crowd control is on, but that's a pretty tanky person to focus with your first amount of abilities. He's able to make it out, and they have Cloud Templar's ultimate down as well. So we could see Invictus Gaming looking to initiate a fight here.
They're really going to want to set up either a direct team fight or a split push here. With Shen's ultimate down, it's a lot of team fight pressure and a lot of split pushing lost there that they no longer have. And so it's really good for Invictus to force objectives in various places on the map, knowing that for the next about 2 minutes, Shen will not be showing up out of nowhere. This is kind of a go time here for Invictus.
You know, Freak, even without the Anivia, even without other champions that are going to spread out that fight, they still have Jarvan to cataclysm someone out. Jumping over the wall, they see Shy up top. He is going to be forced to flash, but he was feared out first by Terror, and he may go down. The Ignite won't pick enough, but the follow-up may just do that for himself. A beautiful Corki missile, and they find Shy up top.
Again, Invictus, as a team, roaming around and forcing their will on the opposition with Shy dead, they can absolutely go for pressure once more. They've pinged Baron. This really could be an attention. They've actually started 22 minutes in.
Super. Well, they do have the Triforce finished, really relying on that. Oh, wow, Wound getting crushed down. Not even a chance, and they go for Baron, Freak.
This is now, I think, the actual Baron. The first time was they know they had some ward sweeping. You know, they sent Nocturne to sweep out with Oracles, no big deal. They knew they'd force the opposition to stop them, which just meant they could start a 5-on-4 with no real worries. The difficulty, though, is these times running a little bit low on mana. and it's going to be a 3-on-5. It's going to be very, very close here.
They're going to let him take as much damage as they can. They are just watching that bar of Baron right now. Mad Life on the outside. Rapid Star coming in, throws down the Hemo Plate. It's all with Baron still alive. He is just trading damage to the closest. They slay Baron Nasser. It goes to Azubu, and it looks like they're forced out of the fight, though. They lose 3 as they walk away. Invictus full team.
That was a really nice setup there by Frost. They focused the jungler. Oh my gosh, the true shot barrage is out. Shy getting chased on, but he shouldn't go down here. The 2-on-5 that Azubu Frost can win right now. Xiao Xiao really getting shut down. Shy's gonna like his chances. Ultimately, it's a 3 for 1 with a Baron seal. I like that for Frost.
That was a really great job. A little miscommunication there by Invictus Gaming. Going in for the attack, we saw the Zenith Blade just separate himself way too much from the team. But with that, they will be quite 5 minutes into the game. It's 13-7. Invictus Gaming coming out early with the first blood, coming out very early with just team roaming aggression. And once again, they will control the dragon. The first dragon going to Azubu, the second and third dragon to Invictus.
But this is going to be really, really big for them. The turn trade is a good move there. Shy knows he is safe. He's wearing Baron buff. His flash is down, but he knows that he's very, very strong right now in this game, trying to finish up Infinity Force when he can. Overall, there's a lot of power in a lot of really good places. That Baron buff, the Baron kill really helps so much. While yes, they are down in kills, you'll expect to see many members on Azubu Frost negative in the kill-death ratio. They're keeping up in gold regardless. Again, it's an 1,800 gold difference, which is basically pennies at this point in the game. You've got to consider these teams on equal standing. The only real separation here is that actually Baron buff is being worn by 2 members of Frost. That's actually a pretty big deal. You need to be a little bit bigger bullies in the fights right now. That might transition away, though, in the near future, because there's a lot of burst damage available on the other side here. Invictus, they're going to like their chances with Jarvan, Nocturne, and Leona. They're going to have a good chance here at shutting down Ezreal. There's really 2 to 3 major worries here on both teams. The Azubu Frost needs to be worried about losing a squishy carry with the burst combos available on the other side. Invictus Game needs to be worried about the fact that there are 3 major threats. Vladimir, Jax, and Ezreal can all carry a game by themselves, and while their team is great at shutting down 1 champion, can they shut down 3?
So, Freak, I feel like once this gets to turrets, once Azubu Frost isn't found with 1 or 2 people, you know, just walking around a turret, I think they're going to be able to hold these. If it's just the push that comes into the game, where is Invictus Gaming going to win if they have to start split pushing it and really spreading themselves out thin?
Split pushing is not going to be the best answer for them overall. It's half decent because they have not kind of segue from one lane to another without a lot of difficulty, but they're still against Shen, who's probably the prince of split pushing, second only to Twisted Fate, who actually takes a crown as king. But Shen is going to be able to, if Frost wants, he can split off to the side lane and work out.
And it's not even going to matter about the turret for Invictus as Azubu goes in. A great true shot barrage going through, and it's going to be too quickly for Azubu. The turret isn't even a factor in this fight. A double kill coming in for Wound, and they will focus now onto the turret.
That was a great aggression there. They knew they had Shen waiting in the wings. Alistair starting that fight properly. Mad Life living up to his name. He's an aggressive player. Really like jumping into those fights. This could be a really good push for Frost.
That was such an extended initiation. Shirelius needed to get in with 3 or 4 steps before Alistar. It was so telegraphed to the team, but it still caught Invictus off guard. They were just not ready. They have not seen that type of aggression yet in this game from Azubu Frost.
Yeah, that was an all-out engagement that was really a one-of-a-kind sort of attempt here by Frost. And the good thing for them was they shut down Z-Tai right away. He actually got pulverized back into the lineup. He killed off with True Shot, Barrage, and Ignite. That's exactly what they want to do. There are a lot of damage that's here on Invictus, just like there are on Azubu Frost. But chief among them is going to be the heavily farmed Z-Tai, who's got Rod of Ages, he's got Solstice Shoes done, and he's almost got his Abyssal Scepter. When that's completed, he's going to be tanky. He's going to be putting out a lot of damage, and he's going to be fighting opponents with no magic resist, making him continue to deal a lot of damage and keep his health bar sustained. Azubu Frost is very melee heavy. You can kind of consider Vladimir a mid-range mage. He's going to be in range of auto attacks with the opponents. So everyone but Ezreal is going to be subject to the damage output from Z-Tai. And that's going to be a very big risk here, and it's going to be the focus, I think, of the match from now on. It's all about Z-Tai.
So we do see Invictus Gaming coming in now, a 3 Aegis build.
Triple Aegis? Seriously?
Triple
Wow.
Aegis.
They went triple Aegis. You guys want to be tanky. They really, really do. I don't know if there's communication or they just really like the stats on it.
That will benefit each person, though, with an Aegis to the other Aegis.
Yeah, so those two champions will have basically a double Aegis aura.
Right.
They'll get 16 attack damage, 36 armor, and 48 magic resist, but still, that's pretty rough overall. We've got a replay set up, though, of that prior fight between just what went down. He has a jump off the Robo initiation, Alex jumping in, gonna just get as much damage as possible, pop the bullshit, and just goes with it all out. And fraction, you can see Swain just dropping way too fast, and now there's not enough damage output really available. Cork has to come in from the side all too late. His teammates are already dead. It was ultimately somewhat of a 5-on-4 with too much aggression early on.
So Azubu Frost getting a little bit of a flame behind them there. Will they be able to melt the competition now? 30 minutes into the game, 13-10. With 2 kills, 3 kills they were able to get. And that last fight are really bolstering that gold. Now they're 42,000 to 40,000 as they've taken the lead there. 5 turrets to 4. Azubu Frost now in the lead once again with that statistic. It's all like they turned this game around in a matter of 3 minutes.
It was just a couple of good engagements is all it took. Mad Life really taking the initiative there, and a great mechanic. Oh, but we're getting jumped on right here.
Forced to get out of that, and the ultimate from Illusion onto him. The paranoia makes it. He does keep with it, and he sticks into follow-up his shot. They lose another one. It's now 1-for-1 in the battle. Swain coming out very big. You can see Zatai hardly taking any damage with that sustain, and he gets a double kill. Chasing down Mad Life, an ultimate finish from Kid, and it's now onto Cloud Templar. The slow, not affecting him enough, and they make it out into 3-1.
No,
4-1.
4-1,
yeah.
exactly. PDD, you are your team's new MVP. 20 seconds ago, I was like, Zatai has got to do well in the fight, and it's going to be great. Nope, PDD out of nowhere. Full dunk combo onto Ezreal, followed up by Leona, and followed up by Nocturne. Those champions, those three working together every single time, trying to shut down Woong, trying to kill Ezreal. Every single time now, most of the time now, it's actually been working. When they're able to put their combos down, the AD carry drops off. And without that dedicated source of single target damage, they don't have an easy way of removing Zatai from the lineup anymore. He's so kiteable. He can deal damage while running with that ultimate. It just deals damage for him, so he can kite Jax. Rapid Star, he's area of effect based on Vladimir. He can't shut down a single target. He helps the entire team. And when your big single target damage source from Ezreal is out of the fight, and Shy on Jax can't really chase down the target he wants, Zatai's gonna have free reign. So those two working together, making those fights happen. They needed one more team fight like that. If they can control Baron, they're really going to be in the advantage. But right now, it's a tie game.
You know, Freak, we've really seen definitive gameplay from both teams up until this 30-minute mark. We have Azubu Frost just coming in full 5-on-5 fights when we saw them. They dove under the turret. Now, this could be a huge problem for Invictus Gaming. Each one of their fights has started catching somebody out in a quick 75% health burst, and then they're able to take the fight without that person being in it. So these 5-on-5s, we said it earlier, it's a late game team for Azubu Frost, and if Invictus Gaming starts to lose their jungle that much more, they will not have the Fog of War to work with.
And there's a couple of good things happening here for Azubu Frost as well. They picked up a Chain Vest and Negatron Cloak here onto Woong. His item build is Trinity Force Last Whisper. Oh crap, I need durability! And he's going for that. And if he can, and that's all he really needs. He just needs enough damage. He can rely on Trinity Force Last Whisper for a long time and just rely on base damages and Triforce procs to deal all the damage he needs. He just needs to survive that dunk team because the late game is so good from Frost. You need to withstand the early burst and then just team fight well. If he's alive, if that initial burst doesn't kill anyone, they can DPS with the time heal. They're really relying on the time to stand a 5-on-4. If they don't have that, it's really good for Frost.
Looks like double Triforce as well being finished for Invictus Gaming. A very, very tanky, but mostly Glass Cannon Swain, except for that Abyssal Scepter giving him a little bit of magic resistance. He's got a lot of health to sustain the fights. Like you said, Freak, he is just walking around wreaking havoc and no. You see? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sure. Basically, the big decision point here with the needlessly large rod is this going to be Death Cap or is it going to be Zhonya's Hourglass? Death Cap says that he feels safe and he just wants to be that hyper carry. And that's a possibility, and they've been doing a pretty good job in fights overall. Zhonya says, you know what? I'm still worried about their burst. I'm worried about Jackson Ezreal, and you're going to see what decision he goes for. It'll kind of tell you how he's feeling about this match. Whether he feels safe or whether he feels pressured. So he's going to look at a glimpse of psychology in the very near future.
You can see him once again going back and forth in the jungle with a little bit of vision. That says we have enough to do Baron. A 33-minute attempt at 17-11. The gold lead is pretty much even. They gain a 2,000 jump with that. And it looks like they are on the upper hand now. A 4-minute pause button to Invictus Gaming. Big for Azubu Frost. They are good on the fight under the turret. They're more than happy now to do it with Baron. And that regeneration and strength that they get, Freak, this is going to be a very big push.
This is going to be the really, really big attempt here. This will be a game-defining battle here. That middle turret is down, so the inhibitor is free for them. I don't even think Invictus can really defend here. I think they'll lose if they go into a fight without kind of perfect initiation.
Oh, great arcane shift, and leaves Zhao Zhao in there by himself. A perfect use of abilities, but they trade 1-for-1. Again, DDP coming in, or DDD use huge coming in. A good job by Cloud Templar focusing on the Nocturne, and it looks like this fight heavily going in favor of Azubu Frost. No, the turnaround. They catch out Vladimir and Jax. The double kill as they chase down Mad Life. I don't think he's going to be able to make it out. They do have the proc from the phase on Triforce, and the triple kill for Kid.
#1 team fight call, NA. Invictus Gaming is showing up. Again, that dunk combo, I thought with Ezreal having a Negatron cloak and Chain Vest that he would have been okay there. Turns out, not the case. There's just too much damage. PDD going for so much. He's got the Trinity Force and Hexbreaker. He is so deadly here.
Sick little dodge there, putting on his Nikes and lacing him up. PDD faking out Cloud Templar for a trade in damage. He's not really hurt right now, but he's just getting harassed around as they take down his turret. Nothing to do there, and a little bit of a rebuttal after an overzealous fight there from Azubu Frost, which I thought they had quite easily.
I really thought so too. They were up in gold. They had the Baron buff. Looks like they could have closed that out. But now they're really paused until Guardian Angel is done. Of course, when I say that, Guardian Angel is done now on Ezreal. Now Wound might finally be tanky enough to withstand the burst combo. There's no guarantee though. The one thing you've got to worry about is with Guardian Angel, you won't die right away. You'll revive a few seconds later, but you only come back with 750 health. If there are cooldowns back time for Invictus, 750 health is nothing for Trinity Force, Jarvan, and a Nocturne. So if they can initially dunk and chunk down onto Ezreal and kill off Wound from Azubu Frost, they're still going to be fine. But all the resistances that he has now, he's running 150 armor, 128 magic resist. Honestly, I feel like finally he's actually going to be hard enough to kill, but who knows? If IG can keep scaling up, if they can keep over-damaging his defenses, that's going to be the make or break point here. Can Wound die?
You know, you can tell that at least Kid right now is having fun. He's completely set up his items exactly like Wound has throughout the inventory. He actually moved around the Negatron cloak as he bought it. These guys still mentally in the game, but still composed as well. They're not down. They don't feel down on each other. They're really ready to play here in the championship. And they are just doing a perfect job. Right now, they are 9 kills ahead of Azubu Frost, and the gold is only a 4. They're really ready to play here in the championship. Barons and turrets have been taken down. Dragon Control has went back and forth. I believe it's at 2-2 now, and we are just seeing an amazing game here between the two of Asia's best teams.
This is such an all-star match overall. I've loved everything that has happened so far in this game. The Baron steal from Azubu Frost really putting them back into the mix. I mean, they're 2-0 on Baron. It's crazy here. Ever on the map, and the teams are very different in their team fight strategies as well. So it's just a mix of different styles the whole way through. And so, you know, it's going to be difficult here for Frost. You know, if Ezreal can live, that's a big deal. If he really can't, I think they're going to have to rely on Shy. And the pressure's on him. It's difficult because he's the newest member of that roster. We talked in the intro about Loco Doco leaving that team for Startail, and they had to bring Wound down. Well, the replacement for Wound's top lane was Shy. And, you know, his name, it's actually fitting just like with Dragon Star. He's a little bit more timid of a player. You know, the pressure's been on him the entire time. Could he fill Wound's shoes in the top lane? He's got to do it here if they want to win this match.
Quick jump on and then never move on to Jack. Now, Freak, we just saw Invictus Gaming win a huge fight. Let's talk a little bit about why that open inhibitor is actually keeping them from pushing any farther.
So the difficulty here is ultimately that anything can turn into a bad aggression here, but a fight to the start here by Dragon.
Zhao Zhao going down. He may get quite hurt. He tries to jump back to his teammates. Zitai coming up with a kill, but he is falling fast. Xiao Xiao falls right there as well. The 1-for-1 coming out, and it looks like they will continue pressure on this fight. A double kill coming up top for Shy as he puts himself in the middle. Illusion going down as well, and they are continuously fighting this one in the jungle. I think that's hurting them a little bit. The vision is back and forth denied, and it comes out very big in the side of Azubu Frost. Kid looking to finish off one more kill. A great arcane shift out of the Gatling helps him to stay alive. The Arcane Angel is still up.
This is so good now for Frost and Woong finally surviving the beginning of a fight. IG spent all their effort killing off Rapid Scar's Vladimir, and that was a lot of damage. But when you have a living Ezreal with items in the background belting out damage, you can see they actually were able to kill off Zitai. Shy just went in there, picked up a double kill early on. Really one of the major impetuses here. It's a 3-on-1 in the base. IG needs to respawn to keep the Nexus alive.
Xiao Xiao just trying to pull the damage through himself, but Woong focused right on that Nexus turret. Drops the first one. And Freak, I think this would be a great time to just talk about how this is opening up the base.
This is really now a very open scenario here. You can't really let if IG goes for a Baron and tries to sneak it, Azubu Frost can just kind of dive in and just run down the mid base and win it for free. They've got to be very careful about exactly what happens here because Invictus has a base in shambles. Only one turret keeps their Nexus alive. They've got to kind of sit near mid at all times. The first thing they have to watch for is the minion wave in the mid lane. They can't let it shove back to their base. If the minions are there, they're just going to dive right in and close the game out. They've got to spend a lot of effort shoving these minions away. That gigantic super minion you can see shoving this mid lane is a very, very big threat here. They've got to keep those killed and keep that wave outside their base.
You see Woong now picking up some finalized items. We'll see what he goes back to build here. Xiao Xiao and Illusion grabbing up some buffs. Or rather, that was Wraiths. And moving into mid, it's just Alistar, Jackson, Vladimir hanging out right now. We do have a replay of that last fight to really just see what happened at Dragon.
And pay special attention to Shy, the MVP here on Jackson. Infusion goes off, a little bit caught here, but they're going to turn back around and go for the damage now. But look at the burst coming down, picking up that kill, but then just check it out. Shy in the front, damage, damage, damage the whole way through. You see them trying to flash out, trying to stay alive, but it just does not matter. He is wrecking everybody's day right here. Cloud Templar as well in the front line, taunting everyone together. And you can see Kid trying to help out, but he's not quite able to.
As they all quickly move back into position, the pings are going down. Freak, Baron is up, and this is the Baron dance. Who brought their shoes and who's ready to go for the longer amount of time? You see some movement from both teams. Invictus trying to move in is Azubu coming from the top. They will come from the bottom. Xiao Xiao getting hit with a mystic shot there. They will be able to tell. Looks like they're pulling the loop around. I believe it was Counter Logic Europe that did this, faking the Baron and loop around, but there's vision on it, so it's not going to play as much of a role as it did in that previous game. The Guardian Angel onto Jarvan is up. Woungs is up as well. So this fight is going to go for a little bit longer than usual with a special focus on those champions. Ezreal is going to be in the back of this fight, Freak, as they try to start it off. The dance goes out, and it looks like IG is trying to bait this one out, saying, yeah, we're taking it. But with the long-range initiation, they know not to. Jarvan jumps in, but it's on Alistar. The ulti goes off from him, mitigating so much damage. They jump onto Zitai. The Zonius goes off. Who will they focus next? Illusion is quite low as well. Zitai will fall. Kid goes down. Mad Life, Illusion, they're all falling. And it is going to be a huge pickup here. Another one goes down. PDD left with a sliver of health.
Surviving up with the Guardian Angel, trying to jump over the wall. Looks like a flash from Cloud Templar. Can he chase down PDD here? But it doesn't much matter. See, the minions are dead now. They've actually killed the turret on the Nexus. Woong's going to dive in for the base.
They do have Woong going. Shy and Templar are right behind as they chase from mid. He's going to be by himself, though, taking down the Nexus. The first game of the day. It does not daunt Azubu Frost. Azubu Frost will defeat Invictus Gaming.
Good job, Azubu Frost breaking that curse. Damage goes out. There's the kill. Next is called Azubu Frost, starting out the World Championship 1-0, proving themselves to be that favorite.
An amazing game and one that really faltered for Azubu Frost in the beginning. Invictus had many tricks up their sleeve, but those instances weren't brought into the team fights. They said, we know how to team fight. Let's practice these that will give us the upper hand, but that couldn't be controlled.
Yeah, a great set of openings here from Invictus, but it was a couple of really, really nice team fights. They had a nice synergy there, Invictus. They had kill the Ezreal, let Zatai carry because he can't be killed anymore. But two major things happened. Ezreal finally stopped dying, and their top laner Shy just got the damage he needed. Even if Ezreal did drop out, it didn't matter. That Jax got to late game status. The lane swap was there trying to shut down Jax early on, and it worked. These strategies from Invictus was so good. They set up so many strong early and mid-game advantages, and up through the first 30 minutes, they had everything going their way. I mean, Baron steals aside, they had everything going their way. They made a lot of correct moves. But Frost, finally, with the Baron steal especially, really helped them catch back up, kind of level out that playing field, some really good pressure in the mid lane as well, and they finally got themselves the late game they wanted.
You know, Freak, let's see how this affects the standings. We said it earlier, Invictus Gaming to go on now to play a doubleheader, but that's a win for Azubu Frost.
This is really, really good. Frost, they're going to look at the rest of this lineup and realize, guys, we beat one of the favorites. We're ready to go for the rest of this. Now, if you don't count tiebreakers, you're going to sort of realize that you need to go 2-1 or 3-0 in your group. 2-1 still available here for Invictus. Again, Frost is a heavy favorite. Invictus losing a close match to one of the best teams in the world doesn't mean you're down and out. They need to be they need to have resolve and be resolute and realize, guys, we lost one match, but it's okay. We can win the other two. Invictus about to play their second match against Counterlogic Gaming North America. That's going to be a really important game for them. This is a very do-or-die moment for Invictus in the near future. Frost, they're going to feel much more secure. They've still got to win some more games to get themselves through, but they're looking really pretty right now.
So Invictus Gaming not getting all of their picks there, but we did see Kid playing against his favorite champion. We're actually going to look at a replay.